Hello there and welcome back to What's Cooking at Mammy's Kitchen again. And this is one of my favorite days. Well, I can't say it's my favorite, but it is a rainy day outside and I'm in here and I get to cook for you. And that makes it really special for me because I've got something good going on. We've got a lot of interesting things going on and I've got a special guest at the end of the show. So I'm kind of nervous and I'm kind of excited. See, kind of got all dressed up and I hope my guest gets to enjoy the taste test with me. I hope I can get everything done in time. So wish me luck because this is kind of out of the box today for me. First of all, we've got apples going on. I am doing a homemade, one of my favorite things that's in my Mammy's cookbook, homemade apple pie. I'm so excited. Who doesn't love an all-American apple pie? I know I love it with some ice cream. We'll be doing that later. I've got something a little bit different. My husband Fly probably wouldn't care much for it unless I tricked him and he wouldn't even know. But I am doing a Southwest spaghetti squash casserole. And oh my gosh, if you've never had spaghetti squash or never played around with it or cooked it, you're missing out, I'm telling you. And then we're gonna do one of my favorites this season is pumpkin and sweet potato soup. It's a creamy, pumpkin-y, it is a fall time soup, I'm telling you. And I just started making this at the restaurant and it was so good. And then I've gotta have something green. I kinda gotta have a side. So I'm back to my Brussels sprouts and my butternut squash. So we've got spaghetti squash, and we've got butternut squash, we've got Brussels sprouts, we've got pumpkin soup, apple pie, oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Got my crock pot out, and the reason why is I wanted to make, since I had the apples and I was buying all these apples, you know, peel, and I'm like, I want some homemade apple cider. It's such a beautiful, beautiful drink to make. And I made it last night. It's been in the crock pot for 8 hours. It's been warming for the 4 hours, and oh my goodness. The aroma is to die for. My whole house smells like just one big piece of fall. I could be on a calendar. And this is such a beautiful soup with the cinnamon sticks and the fruits and the apples. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to strain this and enjoy a drink of it. All right, so I've got the small, these are small, the smaller butternut squashes. That's what I found. And so all we're gonna do, we're gonna slice them in half, have a sharp knife because they're pretty tough, It took me a while. Almost had to use a hammer to get these sliced, even as small as they are. They take about 40 to 50 minutes to cook. So I've got 4 in the oven, but this is what we're gonna take, just like a pumpkin, you know, it's got all the seeds and they look just like pumpkin seeds. So you can already see that you're kind of getting a spaghetti look to that. So we're gonna take some olive oil, it's the best. Drizzle that olive oil right on top of that. There you go. You're gonna salt and pepper. Salt first. Here we go. Salt. Pepper. We're gonna turn them over. I've got my Reynolds wrap down here. Turn them over and bake them. There you go. Let it go for about 50 minutes. We'll go ahead and got these in here. You can see. You can hear them sizzling a little bit. All right. But now, since we're going to leave that right there, I'll put those in later because I need space in my oven for my homemade apple pie. Alrighty, so this is our homemade apple pie, and I pre-made some pie pastry this morning, so we're gonna let it set just at wanted to get it kind of at room temperature. It's been very cold in the fridge all morning, so we've got that. I've got the bottom pie crust, and then I've got a top for the top of the pie crust. That's traditional with a apple pie to have that top on there. And I've got 3 different kinds of apples: Ambrosia, Honey Crisp, which is one of my favorite, and Granny Smith is my all-time favorite apple. I love these. And this Ambrosia apple is really sweet. It's sweet like honey. And we're going to just peel. And my grandmother, Mammy Lucille, could peel an apple without breaking the peel until she got all the way around the apple. Oh my gosh, I almost did it. I almost did it, and I didn't waste any apple too. My pop always said to not waste any apple or potato. But those people, my pop, my mammy, they were brought up in the Depression, so they didn't waste anything. And I'm sure something like the apple peels and the pear peels and the orange peels were all used just like I'm using in the ciders. Everything was used for something. That's such a good apple right there. And I like a lot of apples in my pie. They don't call it Mile High apple pie for nothing. So I'm going to sit here and peel and peel and peel. And you know what we can do right now while I'm peeling all these apples for my Mile High apple pie? We can go to break to one of my great, great sponsors. And we'll be right back. We'll have all of our apples peeled.
The New York Times and the Washington Post have voted my restaurant, Mammy's Kitchen, the best hot brown around. And also Mammy's Kitchen voted the best family restaurant and bourbon bar in Bardstown. And from Bradfordsville to Gravel Switch, Kentucky, both my Mammy's cook farm to table, and of course, I have their recipes all right here. So come and enjoy some good old-fashioned dishes and Southern hospitality right here, all at Mammy's Kitchen. Come see me.
I use 3 different kinds of apples, but you can just use one, the Ambrosia, the Honey Crisp, or there's so many varieties out there. I think the golden yellow, I don't like it too much. It's just not my taste buds, but I like the crisper apples. Seem to have a sweeter flavor, so whatever's the sweetest is what I like. So I'm just slicing them, and if you have a slicer, boy, that would be good. Or the roller thing, and then just cut it down the middle, they'll all be the same. But I try to get mine just medium thin. I know my mammy, boy, hers would be perfect. She would sit at that table, and I remember her being so precise with her paring knife that I would love to have. I remember I had my mom's paring knife with a wood handle for years and years and years. I'm going to tell you, and never sharpened it. I had a little curve in it, and you just can't find them anymore. This one's probably the best I've found since then. Boy, you couldn't beat the old paring knives. Anyway, look, so I've got about 13, 15 apples in here. Like I said, I want it as high as I can have it. So I'm going to set these aside. We're going to start on our pastry or pie dough. All right, we need some flour. First, one thing I'm going to do first is take my lemon, and because if I leave these apples to set over here, they are going to brown really quick. So we're going to put some lemon juice on them, and that's for any fruit. Just put some lemon juice right on top of them, just to keep them from browning. Give it a little bit of flavor and acidity to it as well. All right, there we go. Get me one more seed out. Alrighty there. That right there, rolling, my old rolling pin out. Bet the old rolling pins Mammy had. Oh, I'd love to have that too. Who has Mammy's rolling pin? Because I know that's probably something that she used every day. Oh, I was itching. All right, we're going to flour. And perfect. Still cold, but I can manipulate it and move it. So kind of wanted a disc in a disc. And I used all-purpose flour, 1 cup of all-purpose flour for this. I used 1 stick of unsalted butter. I used a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of sugar. You can add a little bit more. You can actually put some cinnamon in it if you want some flavor. And I used cold butter, and I had a pastry cutter for this to roll out. All American apple pie. Bit of ice cream. I'm gonna keep turning it over. So you'll see some of the butter chunks in there. Oh goodness, that's what makes it flaky. Okay, so we've got him flattened out, and he is about the size, a little bit bigger. That's fine. You want him all even. And he looks like he's not sticking, so that's good. We're gonna roll him up. It's the easiest way I found to put him on the pie dish. So I'm gonna take him right here, just roll him out like that. There you go. Oh my goodness, how pretty. I love a pretty pie crust. I'm not gonna trim anything off of him right now. Set him aside, and I'm gonna get my apple mixture together. And then we're gonna leave my flour right here because I'm gonna roll out the top. We're gonna get the flour mixture. All right, for my apples, I am going to go 1/2 to 2/3 cup of sugar. So what we're gonna do is make the apple pie filling. So you start off with 1/2 or 2/3 cup of sugar. What do you think I'm gonna use? 2/3. I want it to be sweet. I added a few more apples anyway because I want mine to be the Mile High apple pie. I want to show off. So I've got that. I'm going to go 3 tablespoons of flour. Tablespoons. So yeah. So I've got 3 tablespoons of flour right here. 1, 2. It's really simple because when I first started making, I'm like, surely to gosh, there's something else that goes in here. How does it get thick? What is it? What do you do? It's just 3 tablespoons of flour and sugar, and that's it. Now we're going to add all the spice. That's it as far as the texture. Now we're going to do the spices. So I've got 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Favorite things is cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I've got a teaspoon of nutmeg, which is one of my favorite spices to cook with. Oh. There we go. Then I've got a teaspoon of apple pie spice. Now you can add this, omit this, or add it. I like adding it. Just a little extra flavor. That's a 1/2 teaspoon of that. And then I've got allspice. I want a teaspoon of that. Look how dark that is. It smells like an apple pie. A little extra. A little extra. I like tasty foods. All right, so we're going to stir this all together. Put it on your apples. Spread it all evenly on all that. Kind of get it evenly on every apple. All right, so we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, it smells so good. So I've got a teaspoon of vanilla. Get all that in there. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Keep them all in there. I don't want to lose one apple. Gosh, that smells good. I'm not kidding you all. That smells so good. All right, here we go again. This is not to keep your hands clean. Here we go. Let's get this one going. All right, so got the second one rolled out. It's rolling back up on our pan. Bring him over. And there you go. Covered him right up. Kind of squish him in, because I know from experience that they shrink up. So we're going to trim it off. Just kind of use the edge of the pie dish to let me know where to stop trimming. So I'm going to take my finger and just going to pinch it up like that. And there's so many ways you can make this pretty. You could braid, you could take this and roll it out and braid it and take it all the way around. Oh, that would have been fun. But I'm just going to do it easy way and pinch it. Take my finger and just pinch it right up there. Pretty. Or you take a fork, go all the way around. Oh, I should have done that. This takes... We're going to cook this on 375 for about 20 minutes until this starts getting golden brown. And then we're going to knock it back down to 350 for about an hour. All right, I think it's taking me longer to pinch my pie crust than the actual to make the pie. All right, that's good enough. Okay, one more step. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put some cream. About a tablespoon of cream and an egg yolk. And you could do an egg wash, which is the egg white and sugar, but this is good, 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 good right here. Brush and just kind of mix that together. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, make my little slices. We'll do 4. How pretty! I love it! Oh, I can't wait to eat this. Just kind of get the pretty. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to put it on a lined pan. First, let's put some sugar on top. You could do some coarse sugar, which would be prettier, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to do regular sugar right on top. Give it kind of a sparkly. And I know it's going to leak all over my oven, so we're going to put it on this pan and put it in here. And here we go. The squash is looking good. I actually think it might be ready. I'm going to check on this. Very tender already. Yeah. Okay. Give that a couple more minutes and that's going to be done. And that's perfect timing. Perfect, perfect. All right. Apple pie done. I'm getting started on this pumpkin soup because I'm telling you, it is one of my favorite things that I've been fixing this season. I just love it. It is so creamy and rich. You're going to love it too. You've got to try this. Really, really, really love it. Okay, so we're making some pumpkin soup for you. Ooh, and I'm putting sweet potatoes in mine. You can omit that if you want to. You can add carrots though if you want to, or just the pumpkin puree. And this is the easy way. I'm not going to cook a pumpkin. I don't have time. I already did the spaghetti squash, and I'm doing the butternut squash. So I'm doing the canned yams, which is nothing but sweet potatoes. But right now we're going to saute or caramelize some onions. Let's put some butter in here to get that going. There you go. And then we're going to slice some onions. There's lots of flavors that go into this pumpkin soup, so I'm going to tell you it's better than what you think. And I just say that because I don't know a lot of people that actually like it. Until I've made it at the restaurant, then they all tried it. And really, how do you know you don't like something until you try it? Oh, it smells good already. And then all the spices that's going in. So we're going to mince some garlic too. So get this onion in here, and I'm trying to get it in here as fast as possible to keep me from crying. There we go. That's good. That's enough. That's really more onion than I've probably ever used in one of my dishes. But it's what brings that pumpkin flavor out. And we're going to let that caramelize too in there. Okay, perfect. Oh, right. Gives me time to get to mince some garlic. All right, let's put that in there. And I'm going to wait before I add anything else. I am going to let that saute a little bit. And we're going to use an immersion blender. We have to use that all the time at the restaurant. That's really, really fun, but I don't want any chunks of onion in this. So we're going to, when I get all the ingredients in there and it cooks for about 20 minutes, then we'll put that immersion blender in and we'll get all of that just as creamy as can be. So here we go. So we're going to let these caramelize. We're going to get all my spices and my pumpkin ready to go into the pot. And we're going to go to our sponsor and we'll be right back.
The New York Times and the Washington Post have voted my restaurant, Mammy's Kitchen, the best off-brown around. And also Mammy's Kitchen voted the best family restaurant and bourbon bar in Bardstown. And from Bradfordsville to Gravel Switch, Kentucky, both my Mammy's cook farm to table, and of course, I have their recipes all right here. So come and enjoy some good old-fashioned dishes and Southern hospitality right here, all at Mammy's Kitchen. Come see me.
So on my side dish, I loved the butternut squash. I love Brussels sprouts. It's one of my favorite vegetables. And so I have to have a side, and this is going to be my side today. This is so, so good. I've got some pecans, bacon, just roasting lightly, about 5 minutes in the oven right now. These are halved. I didn't bother having these, and I didn't bother having the squash. It was already in the store in packages like that. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up in a dish. You can do it on a baking dish or like I've got right here because I love it. I think it's pretty. Or you can do it on a sheet pan. But I wanted to try this out because I'm having a baby shower for my niece Jenny this weekend, who's having twin boys. And I wanted to try this dish out to see if it was going to be something really pretty to fix at her baby shower. I'm going to try it out on you. So what we're going to do is add some olive oil. Kind of just drizzle that all over. Just basically baking this dish. Salt. Some pepper. And what I like about this dish is it has cranberries in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful dish. Be a pretty Christmas dish. Look at that. That green, the gold, orange. Wow, that's beautiful. And that's it. And when the walnuts get done, we're gonna throw that on there, bake it for about 30 minutes until everything's just a slightly tender. And there you go. How pretty is that? I love that. Let's go check on our soup. Everything's caramelizing. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in. There's our walnuts, and boy, they smell good. Just everything kind of goes with each other. You can actually have an apple and walnut pie. I'm gonna put that on top. Oh my goodness. That was really too simple. I shouldn't even showed y'all that one because that was way too simple. You can really impress somebody with this dish during the holidays. How nice. Look at that apple pie. Woo, doggies. I'm so excited about that. That looks better than my Mammy's, I think. All right, let's get back to our pumpkin soup. Come on back over. So right now, we've got that caramelizing. If you can look at it and see. Oh, gosh, something about onions and that butter smells so, so good. Yum, that's perfect, exactly. Now I've got some thyme. You know what? I've been cooking with thyme all season this year. Because I love it, and all my recipes have called for it. I want to add every bit of it. So here we go with the good spices. So first of all, I've got some kosher salt I'm going to put in here. I've got some cinnamon. Going to be a teaspoon of cinnamon. There we go. I've got cumin, which teaspoon of that. I've got nutmeg. Oh, that smells so good. And I've got ginger. I cook a lot with ginger during the holidays. So I've got 2 cups of water. I'm going to add that. Okay, there's the 2 cups of water. Let's stir it up now. Get all those spices incorporated in with those onions. Oh my gosh. The aroma is magnificent. Oh my goodness. All right, so now we're going to add the sweet potatoes, juice and all. And don't worry, when we take that immersion blender, they'll be creamy and they're already soft, so it's not going to take much. I'm going to turn it on high. We're going to take our pumpkin. Let's put that in here. And this is just a pumpkin puree. Stir and stir and stir. And I've got 4 cups of chicken stock. And if you want this to be a vegetarian meal, then go ahead and use vegetable stock. I just bought chicken. I just had chicken, so there we go. And this is going to cook for about 20 minutes. And then we'll add some heavy cream. But I don't want to add it now. I'm going to wait till the end. All right, so I've got it all kind of creamed in there. We're going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes on medium. Don't want to burn it. Put my top on it. And then now we're going to go to my spaghetti squash, the fun stuff. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait for you to watch me do this. Let me get it cleaned up. I'm going to keep this on the side because I don't want to forget the best part of the soup is that heavy cream. One of my favorite things to cook with is heavy cream. So anyway, we're going to leave that there. I'm going to clean up and get ready to bring my squash out. Southwest spaghetti squash casserole. You wouldn't even know it if you were here to taste it. If I let the spaghetti squash out and just put a Southwest casserole, you would never know there was spaghetti squash in this. So it's kind of healthy. So I'm going to put some green onions and some olive oil here. Good and hot skillet going on. We're going to cut some peppers and This is a really pretty dish too. So if you're looking to impress somebody, this is the one to do it with. I don't really want any pepper, any seeds in there, so try to do without that. Yellow in there, let that saute. Got it on about medium. It's gonna be so good, my mouth is watering. And I've got 4 boneless breast chicken that I have cooked and shredded. That's gonna go in this. And if you want beef, then go ahead and do beef. It's so colorful. Got my pumpkin soup simmering behind me. Wow. Telling you, it's smelling good in Mammy's kitchen today. This is kind of what you see when you first see my commercials and you see a pan on the stove with all the colors frying. They're colorful. Everybody asks me what that is, and that's squash, greens, and cherry tomatoes. It's one of the first meals I fixed for you. There we go. All right, so what we're gonna do, I've got black beans and I have rinsed these. You have to rinse these or your whole dish is gonna turn black. So we're gonna do about a cup of black beans in here. And I've got about a cup of frozen corn that's thawed out. Looking good. This is such a pretty dish too. I can't wait to eat this. This is a rainy day meal for sure. You do want to take a nap after all of this. Isn't that pretty? I want to take a picture of that. I really like that. And then we're going to add some salt. So I've got some garlic salt. So put that in there. Some flavor. I want some pepper. There we go. Some cumin. I've used that all day today too. Stir this all up. Like sauteing all of those little veggies in there. All right, enchilada sauce. And I've got about a cup of it. Or 1 can. There we go. Put that back on high. There's all your flavor right there in one pot. What an easy dinner to make. And we're going to come and get our chicken. All this has been shredded. And I'm going to add about 4 cups. Yes, and I'm excited, so I added it with my hands. I can't help it. I'm so excited about this meal. Oh, wow. That is so good. I can taste all those spices in it. Oh, wow. Leave it like that, and it's perfect. But I can't wait to add the secret ingredient, which is our spaghetti squash, and they're perfect. What we're gonna do first, we're gonna add our cheese, give that time to melt in there. I'm not gonna put all of it in it just yet. Turn it back down on medium. Get a fork out. Here's the first one. I hope I do this right. I'm really scared when I do that. And it works every time. It's magic. I love this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Chicken Alfredo. Oh gosh, that would be perfect Okay, so we're getting ready to bring it over here. Ooh, look at that Monterey Jack cheese. You can put 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, how much ever you like. Oh my goodness, here comes the best part. This is so easy too. The hardest part was cutting this, and that was it. I just had an idea, and I'm sure I'm not the first one that ever thought about it, but wouldn't you be nice to put that dish back into that bowl? I think I'm gonna try that and serve it like that. Perfect. All right, there we go. I'm gonna turn it on low because everything's already cooked. Just kind of get that spaghetti squash incorporated in there. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yes, yes. We're gonna add some Roma tomatoes, and I picked these. You could do the cherry tomatoes because they were so red and pretty, and I really like the vibrant colors. And you look like a chef serving this to your family. They'll be so proud of you. That's perfect. I'm gonna add some more cheese because I like cheese. Southwest spaghetti squash casserole. I bet my grandkids would eat this up. You don't have to go out and eat. All you have to do is come over here at Mammy's. Mammy, that's so good. It's one of the best compliments I've ever had. There you go. Voila. You want to try it? Want to taste it? Let me get cleaned up. We've got to get our soup. It's been simmering for about 20 minutes. I'm ready to get the old immersion blender out. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. All right, so the last step, thank goodness, because I'm ready to eat some of the Southwest spaghetti squash casserole. So we're going to put a cup of heavy cream in here, which I think is what makes the soup. And we're just going to stick this little thing in there. Oh, hold on. Let me get him on there. There we go. There we go. All right, so I'm so excited. I finally did it. I've made an all-American apple pie. And the reason why I made this pie is because I knew my guest, special guest, Matthew Bowman, Matt, a good friend of mine, who sits on the board of the Bethany Haven and the Room at the Inn homeless shelter. All right?
That is correct.
So they've asked me to sit on the board through my experience in a shelter myself. 30 years ago. It'll be 30 years in December. I was in a shelter twice with my children in downtown Louisville, and I'll never forget that. And the reason why I bring it up, and the reason why it's so close to me, and I think you all invited me to be on the board or sit on the board with you through my experience of being in the shelter at that time in my life. And you can hear the nervousness in my voice because it's the first time I really ever talked about it to maybe a few people here and there. Anyway, I'm very proud to be with you and do whatever I can. So anyway, the reason why I had Matt on and the reason why I did apple pie, because we had a fundraiser at the restaurant.
It's a great fundraiser.
It was awesome. Bridget Wilson and your daughter did the flowers and all of the advertising for it. Take a slice out of homelessness. In our restaurant, we donated half of the proceeds for every piece of pie or whole pie or cake or dessert to the Bethany Haven shelter. We raised over $2,000. We did it for one full week, and it was really exciting. And so many people. I have the best audience, the best customers that are giving and really helpful, and they just were very nice about helping us help the shelter. And so I've invited Matt here today to be a spokesperson to let you all know about the Bethany Haven shelter and Room at the Inn also. So take it away,
Well.
Matt. You're much better at this than I am.
I don't know about that. It is an opportunity, though, that I welcome to be able to talk, because the real thing about homelessness is that it is not as though you have individuals who are homeless who come into your household and say, I need some help, I need a place to stay. So it is up to us who sit on the boards, who are involved in these various nonprofits and government programs, to be able to spread the information for others.
Right.
The numbers of homelessness are very small in the United States. It's actually less than 1% of the people in the United States are homeless. It's actually about 1/2 of 1%.
Yeah, I did not know that myself.
But if you have 300 million people in the United States, 1/2 of 1% is still 1.5 million people.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Wow.
Even in Nelson County, where your restaurant is located, where I live, I never thought that homelessness
I didn't either.
existed.
I really didn't.
This past year, our shelter here in Nelson County, with a population of about 40,000, saw about 200 different individuals who came and stayed either in our Room in the Inn program or our Bethany Haven transition shelter. That's a lot of people for a small town. Most people don't realize that homelessness exists not only in the large cities, but also all across America, including in the rural areas.
And that means your community and my community. It's in all of our communities, whether we see it visually every day. Like I said, you go to work, I go to work. It exists. I'm living proof of that. It existed. I had a great family, but it was just a circumstance that I caught myself in, that I had no other way out with my children. And you can have success stories like me. And the way I feel about my success story through being in the homeless shelter with my children is that I've come full circle, and that I'm able to help others in my situation. I understand. I know one of the reasons why I can cook so well is because every week we had to cook for hundreds of people. I included, and this is 30 years ago, when I was chosen in 1 week with me and my children, had to go back to the little kitchen and cook for over 100 other people. The week of
November the 14th through the actually it's November the 16th through the 24th is the National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. And so all across the country, many cities are doing proclamations. We'll have one here in Bardstown and Nelson County as well, where it is an opportunity to think, especially at this time of year, right before Thanksgiving, how blessed we are, and how
exactly
other individuals do not have those blessings, and what we can do to help share those blessings with them. And one of the most basic of blessings, of course, is shelter, someplace to put your head. Most people don't realize that homelessness in most instances is what we call episodic. Just like you're not chronic. You weren't chronically homeless. You got out of it.
Exactly.
And you were able to lift yourself, although you had help.
It was a tool for me at that time in order to lift myself and have the help that I needed through people like you that come into my restaurant, that people that wanted to help. I owe my success to so many other people, that helped me throughout that stage in my life.
And that's important, is to help figure out how we can help others. And that's what we're all called to do, is to help other individuals.
And it takes care of that myth that people want to be homeless or they're there because they're not working. I was a hard worker, and I've seen a whole lot of people, and I've seen a whole lot of successes too, that come through the homeless shelter and that want to work. They just need somebody to help and lift them up. If I can do that to one family, one person, I'm very happy, but I hope to do to a whole lot of people. And I have a lot of customers that come in Mammy's Kitchen, and you can also help too. So please be aware of that shelter here that we start. I pray, and I'm like, where do I give, and how do I give, and what do I do at a time in my life when I was ready to give back. And first I start with my church, then I start with my family, my friends, then my fortunate enough that I could start helping my employees and others, and now I'm giving back to Bethany Haven. I want to continue and continue, and I want that little first step to grow into a huge step for me.
Right.
And through us, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah. And Christy, maybe I could talk a little bit about the Room in the Inn program.
Absolutely.
The Room in the Inn
Wonderful
program is a great way to be able to participate to where you could help. Here in Bardstown and in many other communities, churches have come together and have been able to, not just one, but a whole group of them, been able to put up a place for people who have no place at all that night to stay, to do the emergency shelter, where churches will take turns in hosting
and lots of
individuals.
volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteers.
Absolutely, because what they do is they bring in the homeless. They for that night, they feed them a hot meal. They stay with them overnight, and in the morning they cook them a hot breakfast, and a sack lunch is given to them, and then they're transported back to the intake center. We do that here in Bardstown. We have over 20 churches and religious organizations that participate. And I know that Elizabethtown and many other communities, not only here in Kentucky, but all across the country.
Right.
And so in rural areas like we're located, oftentimes you won't see someone who's standing out on the street that says homeless.
Right.
You won't see someone pushing a shopping cart.
Absolutely.
What you will find is you'll find someone who has a tent in a park or back in the woods. You know, I have all
or an
different
empty
types
building,
of, or an empty building, exactly. You know, there's a lady that I'm aware of who's living in an unheated garage, and every morning she goes and she washes at the gas station. The very first homeless person that I met here in Bardstown was a young gentleman who looked, he could have been my son, and he was someone who was about 22 years old, living in an area of the woods, and to talk to him and talk about his struggles. And he was someone who had been diagnosed as a child with a mental illness, with bipolar, and it was not as though his family had given up on him. It was that his family couldn't help him.
It couldn't help him, and he strayed until he became to this part right there.
And that's, you know, again, you know, how do you help individuals? Oftentimes it's a matter of getting them to the resources that already exist that they may not be aware of. And sometimes it's just a matter to giving them some stability. Our transition shelter, Bethany Haven, our transition shelter for women and children and families, allows individuals to do that. The average stay there is about 4 months. And in that 4 months, someone can get a job. They can save that first month's rent, that deposit, and they can oftentimes be able to get transportation. All those things
all the
needed.
resources are there too. For, you know, sometimes it's hard for, you know, a homeless person to have the resources or to sit down and have someone show them how to fill out an application or get their GED. And I know that Bethany Haven,
that's correct,
that we're able to help them do that.
Christy, as you may not be aware, but is, you know, your sharing your experience does not surprise me at all, because the demographic, including here in Nelson County, that has the highest incidence of poverty are women between the ages of 24 and 35, and women with children. Every story is not a success. It's the nature of individuals that, you know, once you get to the point where you don't have a place to stay, oftentimes there's all sorts of things that have happened to you at that point in time. And that can include addiction, it can include domestic violence, it can include multiple evictions.
Everybody has their own story.
Absolutely.
They really do. Their own chapter and their own book.
And yet we are called to do our part whatever that may be.
Me. This is me when they ask me. Yes, I'll do it. It's my time to give back. It's definitely my time to give back. For me personally, through my family and through my business, and just I've told him I will do whatever I have to do. I'm a doer. I'm not the spokesperson that Matt is. Thank goodness he came to explain all of that, because I just want to listen to you, and all the data and the statistics and everything is just unbelievable to me. And I was there. Yeah. So, but I was in a big city, you know. I wasn't in a small rural town like Bardstown, but it does exist. You know, as an employer of over 40-some people, I see it every day. I have people that are hungry that come to Mammy's Kitchen every day that we feed. So it is out there, and it is just my job not to judge, but to help. So that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm going to stay.
And we're glad that you're a part of Bethany Haven. And
glad to be a partner with you, sir. We've got some marvelous, magnificent, very smart people, and some really great fundraisers coming up. One being around Bardstown, Take a Slice Out of Homelessness. It's going to be throughout the restaurants in Bardstown again for that week, for the Hunger and Homeless Week, through the 14th through the 21st, I think you
24th.
Said. So be aware of it and help out. And we're coming into the holidays, and it's the giving spirit. So I'm really hungry. Aren't you hungry?
I am hungry.
Let's eat. Okay.
This looks wonderful.
All right. And I'm so glad you're here, and how appropriate for me to do an apple pie. I'm so glad. So let's taste something. Okay, so I'm hungry, and I hope that you love everything that I fixed.
It looks wonderful.
First of all, oh my gosh. Honey crisp apples, a pear, an orange, 4 cinnamon sticks, some mulling spices, which took me forever to fit. I didn't know what mulling spices were, but I had to research it a little bit. Ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, all of those good spices. You know, you've got your cinnamon sticks. I've been cooking this for 8 hours. It's been warming for 4 hours. Could have used some bourbon. Could have used a little bit of bourbon. Dang it, but we can go get that. I think I have a bar.
You have some?
So we're going to use this for a drink. Oh my gosh. You can't beat the smell, the aroma. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness, this is like a hot toddy. Put your little orange in there. Make it festive. And okay, I want you to try my pumpkin soup to see if you like it. All right, you want to try this first? Okay.
Try it.
I'm just so excited.
That is good.
It's good. We did together. Because that's really good. Ooh. All right, let's try this. And on top, I put some yogurt with some sour cream, and I just swirled it together. And these are pepitas seeds. I like them better than them.
That's better than pumpkin pie.
That is really good. It is better than pumpkin pie. I'm telling you, it's been a winner ever since I found this, and I tasted it, and I tried it for years. I'm like, I'm not going to eat that, but this is really.
So is this at Mammy's? Is this one of your soups that you do?
This is one of my soups that I'm doing for the fall. Oh my gosh.
It's really good.
Because I want to pumpkin this, pumpkin up.
So this is what you do with all those pumpkins after Halloween?
Yes, I do. 'Cause I'm telling you, this has been a winner so far. All right, we got to try this. This is good. All right, we're going to have to set this aside. We're going to have to come back to that because that's really good. This is our spaghetti squash, and I was really nervous because I'm like, I hope he's not a picky eater like my husband. I'm like, I don't want to eat that stuff. He wouldn't even know. But isn't that pretty? Look at that green and the reds and the yellows.
And I love spaghetti squash.
I know. I'm like, it's perfect. Because I had second thoughts. And then I'm glad I went with it. And you've got some of that the cheese, the Monterey Jack cheese. All right.
And it's healthier for you than the spaghetti squash.
Oh my goodness. And you never know it. You would never know you're eating something healthy right now. Really?
This is really good, Christy.
Wow. Wow. And I taste that spaghetti squash in there.
It is really good.
My grandkids would tear this up. Look at that. I will take their spaghetti squash. If you still have some in your garden, I will take it. Oh my goodness. Just to think of the recipes you can make. And who doesn't like Southwestern? Wow. That's really good. All right, let's try some of these. This is Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts. Whoops, try to get away on us. And it's got a homemade maple syrup on it with some roasted butternut squash. I am squash this, squash that.
It's got pecans in it too.
Oh, wow. Isn't that good? Oh, that's the perfect side for the Southwestern and a little bit of sweet and savory right here. Wow, I like that. I think that maple syrup makes it. I was questioning that. Do I want to put maple syrup on there? Yes, I do. That is really, really good.
It's a
Wow.
great fall dish too.
That is beautiful. Winter, winter, winter. Take a drink of my apple cider. Oh, wow. Well, that warms your whole soul up. I mean, it just warms your whole soul. One more bite. I'm really nervous. I'm procrastinating the apple pie. I'm always scared. All right, let's put this to the side, Matt.
All right.
Come back to it because it's really, really good.
As long as I can come back to it.
Oh, my goodness. I got a pretty plate. You got a plain plate.
I'll still eat
I
off
only
of
had
it.
one plate and I loved it. Because I've always been scared when I make an apple pie but the apples, I'm like, how does that cook? I mean, cook those apples. But we're going to see. Oh, my goodness, goodness. Wow. I know my crust is crunchy and looks really, really good. This is a sour cream pastry crust. So
It's beautiful. Wow.
some of those apples. Oh my goodness, yeah, it does turn into that apple pie filling that I'm like, how does just those simple few ingredients? All right. Ready? You go forward. Okay.
I'll borrow my spoon.
Here we go. Take a slice out of homelessness and take a slice out of this pie. We're getting ready to try. Oh, it's good work. That's good.
I can taste the nutmeg. That's really good.
And I was really worried about, look how flaky my crust is. Isn't that perfect? Oh my goodness, I love that. You can use that for anything, any kind of pie. Ice cream would be great. That is wonderful. It turned out all because you were here.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much
Invite
for
me
joining
back.
me.
I'll come back anytime.
I will. 1 week from now. All right, this is wonderful. And it's such an important meal for me. Think about somebody having this meal, giving somebody this meal, cooking for somebody. It is just wonderful. Thank you again, Matt. And, you know, make sure you shop local, bank local, drink local, eat local, and give local. We'll have to add one on to there. Thank you all for joining me again today. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Christy.
For joining me and all the board members. I love you all to death. Thank you so much for having me sit on the board with you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all later. Love you and God bless.